So, Doctor Who still hasn't been renewed. This has now been confirmed by Russell T Davies, the showrunner. Disney doesn't seem massively enamoured with the response that they've had for their investment, which was numerous. It was a large investment. I think it was $100 million, wasn't it? It's a lot. It's a lot of cash. So, he's come out and said, yeah, BBC's non-committal. Disney hasn't renewed, and the BBC is non-committal as well. And also he comes out and sort of lambasts streaming, which I agree with him to about that, in fairness. Streaming was always going to be, well, streaming to replace movies was never going to work. And I do think streaming has now ballooned to a degree that is just ridiculous. You know, everyone has a streaming platform. All you're doing is sort of segregating your sort of platform too much. You know, it worked when everything was being sold to the likes of Netflix, for instance. Everyone was a winner. When anyone stepped up to try to partake in the streaming wars, they lost. Anyone lost. The only winners were the ones that didn't try and enter the streaming wars. But anyway, I digress. Let's take a look, because this is still one of those updates which is important. You know, we haven't had an update on the status of Doctor Who for a while. I've done many a video saying it's basically going to be cancelled, because the moment Season 2 comes out, and also this Christmas special, the moment these numbers come out, or these seasons come out, or the special comes out, is Disney can then look at that and have a clear-cut comparison. They have all of the ratings data from Season 1 and the special of pre-Season 1 to the special pre-Season 2, and then the ratings for Season 2. And they can compare them just directly to one another and say, right, well, people aren't interested, actually. You've lost people. Because mark my words, the amount of individuals that will come back to watch Season 2 will be significantly less than those that started Season 1. So hit subscribe if you're new here. And also, guys, please do hit subscribe if you are not subscribed. There's lots of people that watch this channel that are not subscribed. And it really does help a channel out when you just tell YouTube that you are interested in it by hitting that subscribe button. Hopefully, you'll then get notified as well. But this is over on Doctor Who TV, .co.uk. They compile a lot of the information in easy to digest articles. And then we've also got one on Deadline as well. So we're going to look at these two articles today. But first, let's look at the Doctor Who TV one. RTD, the retardeed. A fool would doubt Doctor Who's future, but admits BBC is still non-committal. Alright then, so what did he say? So Russell T Davies has reiterated that Doctor Who's immediate future beyond 2025, because that's when Season 2 releases, is uncertain, yet he declared a fool would doubt Doctor Who's future. Speaking on Radio 4's Today programme, Davies said the BBC has not yet committed to a third series featuring Ncuti Gatwa. And this kind of flies in the face of previous statements from him, because he was like, well, if Disney doesn't come back, like they'll renew it and we'll find other partners. Like, okay then, well, now the BBC's non-committal. So yeah, the third season featuring Ncuti Gatwa. The decision on whether to move forward will depend on the network's evaluation following Series 15 in 2025. So that's hilarious. So he says following quote, "We don't know if there's a third series yet, Season 15. Series 15 will go out in the summer of 2024, and then they'll decide it." I guess that means 2025. Yeah, that should be 2025. The BBC will decide as well its future, but I'm happy to stay with it. I love it. Mate, it's your only job at the moment. It's more fun than anything else. Cool. Glad you're having fun, because no one else is. Davies also reflected on the co-production deal with Disney and said, "It's a lovely experiment. We've had a great time. I'm sure they haven't, seeing how their money's been spaffed up the wall. Every single drama you ever watch on television has had American money or co-production money in it for about 25 years. So this is actually nothing new. The use of experiment and has fueled speculation that Disney's partnership could be ending after next year, which aligns with the Deadline article from earlier in 2024. Which, yeah, I mean, is true. You can tell a lot from someone's use of language. Experiment isn't exactly good. Had is past tense. We've had a lovely time. But then you know, the had comment isn't clear cut because they've had a lovely time because they're not currently filming the third season, right? Season 16. So it does, that kind of goes with both actual sort of train of thoughts there. So it says this, however, despite all the uncertainties, Davies expressed confidence in the resilience of Doctor Who as a franchise. Quote, "It's a fool who doubts Doctor Who's future. I think it's like 61 this year, and yes, I have found some different shape, some different form. There is a version that could go out late at light on BBC Three." What are you talking about, mate? Well, for starters, mate, it'd been off air for years. Got cancelled. It got cancelled, mate. What are you on about? And this thing, it would have found some different shape, some different form. There's a version that could go out late at light on BBC Three. What does that mean? You get relegated to BBC Three? Oh, good times. That's a really shit channel for those guys in the States. What? This is pathetic. But then he comes out and says this kind of stuff. Russell T Davies says he kind of hopes the streaming bubble will pop. It does seem like he's not very happy with Disney, right? Wishing the streaming bubble to pop. The way things are done now. Does sound that way. Says this, the streamers are heading for a South Sea bubble. That's the verdict of Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies, whose long-running BBC series was given a mega cash injection from Disney. It's a weird thing to say, isn't it, when you want to curry favour with a big streamer. Pondering the future of the industry on BBC's Today, Davies said he kind of hopes it does pop, in reference to the streaming revolution, which has experienced serious teething problems since Disney invested in Doctor Who. Davies, who mostly created shows for British broadcasters, longed for the industry to, quote, go back to making 8 PM dramas about lawyers or health centres or shows that teach people how to make television. The BBC dramas are dog shit, just full of diverse shite. Trying to like guilt trip people into being left-wing mongoloids. There are too many streamers, too much money, and not everyone is watching, so it can't be financially viable. Sounds like Doctor Who on Disney Plus, doesn't it, mate? It really does. Like, so he says this, right? Although Doctor Who's now made with US money, he reiterated previous remarks that the sci-fi smash is still not as lavishly invested in as rival American shows. For a recent scene in the currently filming Doctor Who season, Davies said he demanded 200 extras for the first time in his career, only to turn on the first episode of The Day of the Jackal and see that in his mind, there were 500 extras. I just think, how do you keep up with this? Said Davies. While Davies stressed that he wanted Doctor Who to look like Stranger Things. Hence the attraction of the Disney money, he said it would have found a different shape, a different form, had the Mouse House not jumped aboard. Yeah, I mean, they're not looking like they want to continue either, to be fair. So, there you go. I just thought this was quite comical, really. Comments. Thank you for obliterating Doctor Who, RTD. Now I can save more money on Bitcoin instead of your zombie production. Except that money didn't buy an improved show, just unnecessary CGI. I look forward to a reduced budget and better stories in the future from my dear Doctor. Mate, you're not going to get that. So there you go. Is it cancelled? Yeah, probably. Still no season 3. Even the BBC's non-committal now. Straight from the horse's mouth. Thoughts down below. Bye now.